I want you to imagine with me that you are going on an exercise trail. It's a nature trail. It has one of these little exercise, and you're doing your morning run, 30 minutes long. You don't have a lot of time, so you're just kind of blitzing through the trail. But it is a glorious spring morning. The sun is shining, you can smell the sweetness of the different flowers, and as you're running by, you see them as you go by, and you say to yourself, I am coming back when I have more time. This is beautiful. This trail is gorgeous right now. So you go back on Saturday, and you plan a whole 3 hours to be there. You pack a picnic lunch, and you really take your time, and you stroll down the trail, and you start noticing different birds' nests. And then you notice the different types of flowers along the trail. You notice the trees, the leaves up in the different kinds of trees along the trail are all different shades of that spring green. And they're gorgeous, and they're different shapes and shades. It's just amazing. You're just filled with the wonder of God's creation. You get home, and you get a phone call. And a leader of a group of children says, I would like you to lead a nature hike down, and they named the place, and it's the same trail that you've just spent all day on. And they said, we only have 20 minutes designated for that nature hike. Could you lead this group of second graders down this nature trail? Well, now you have a problem because you spent 3 hours. You know what's on the trail. I mean, what are you going to do? Well, there's a few ways that you could do it. You could have them jog the trail like you did the very first time you were on that trail. Okay, blitz through. I mean, with second graders, that might be a little bit hard, though. Or you could just, as you march down, look at the flowers, look at the trees, and then when the students get home, their parents say, oh, what'd you learn today? And they're like, oh, we saw just a bunch of different things. Or you could say, I only have 20 minutes. I'm going to show them the birds' nests. You start down on the trail and say, come on, everyone. And you pass by some of the flowers and you pass by some of the leaves. They're there, but you keep going and you get to the first bird's nest and you stop. And you have them examine that, and they say, come on, I want to show you something else. And you move on down, and you show them the second bird's nest, and you show them the third bird's nest. They get home. What'd you learn today? I learned about bird's nests. They know, because that was your objective for that day, was to teach about bird's nests. Now, if you're going down the trail, and one of your students says, look at the flowers, you say, yes, aren't they beautiful? Now, come on, we're gonna look at this bird's nest over here, and you kind of move them right over there to the bird's nest. If someone's getting off of what the objective is, unless you can discern that really is where the concern is, draw the students back into what are we looking at? We're looking at bird's nest, or we're looking at the flowers, or we're looking at the leaves. The teacher must decide that. Now, the parallels are pretty clear where I'm going with that. The 30-minute jog is when you're having your own devotion, quiet time with God, and you're reading scripture, and you're opening it up, and it's just 30 minutes, kind of a quick read through. You're not really stopping and studying, but you notice things, and the Lord speaks to your heart. That's just a 30-minute run through. It's good for the exercise. The second 3 hours is when you go back to that passage and you study it. You look up parallel passages, you look up words, you gain an understanding of what is on the trail, what is in this passage, and you get excited. But then you're asked to teach it, and you are only given 20 minutes or 40 minutes, or it's very generous, a full hour, and you have to decide. You can't teach it all. So you have to decide, what am I going to focus on, and how then am I going to lead my students to see the three birds' nests, or whatever it is that I've chosen for that. What I have just described is what I mean when I say, what do we do first? We find the objectives in the passage. Now, we're not making it up. We're not going down and saying, I'm planting the bird's nest in the trail. We're not making up what we want the passage to say. That goes back to the principle that God, through His Word, changes people's lives. God has His own purpose in giving Scripture. My job is to find out, what is He saying in this passage? And then what does it mean? How does it apply? So I'm starting here with the finding out what's on the trail and my own personal study.